From the very beginning, my sister and I were complete opposites. She was adored by relatives, always praised for her charm, her sharp tongue, and her ability to win people over in seconds. I, on the other hand, was the quiet one, more focused on books than gossip, more interested in late-night study sessions than flashy social media updates. Our parents treated us fairly, but society never did. My sister basked in the attention while I silently carried the weight of expectations on my shoulders. But deep inside, I knew my worth wasn't measured by applause, it would be measured by my results. And that's what scared my sister the most. She knew, in the end, grades could outshine her glitter. Exams were around the corner, and the tension in our house was thick like smoke. My sister pretended to study, but I knew she wasn't consistent. She was brilliant in pretending to work hard in front of everyone, leaving books scattered on her desk just for show. I, meanwhile, poured myself into my notes, creating summaries, solving past papers, and memorizing formulas until my fingers cramped. I had kept my exam papers, notes, and practice sheets neatly stacked in a folder, locked in my drawer. They were my lifeline, my preparation for the future. I guarded them like treasure, never imagining that my own sister, my blood, could turn into a thief of dreams. The night before my first exam, I noticed something strange. My folder wasn't in the drawer where I had left it. I searched every corner of my room, thinking maybe I had misplaced it. My heart pounded as I tore through bookshelves, under the bed, and even inside my bag. Nothing. When I asked my sister casually if she had seen my papers, her expression twitched for a split second before she smirked and said, "Maybe you should be more careful with your things." It wasn't just her words, it was the satisfaction in her eyes that pierced me. A wave of dread washed over me as a terrible realization hit: my sister had taken them. I wanted to scream at her, demand my papers back, but I froze. Part of me couldn't believe she would go that far. But the next morning confirmed everything. I overheard her whispering to a friend on the phone, bragging about how competition is easier when the competitor doesn't have her notes. My chest tightened, anger clawing at me, but I knew if I lost focus, she'd win twice, first by stealing my papers, and second by seeing me crumble. So I went into the exam hall with nothing but the memory of what I had studied, forcing myself to recall every formula, every theory, every paragraph I had written in that lost folder. It was torture, but I wasn't going to let her win that easily. Days turned into weeks, exams kept coming, and every night I studied harder, using only scraps of memory and last-minute revisions. My sister, meanwhile, walked around the house like a queen. She mocked me indirectly, saying things like, "Some people just aren't cut out for pressure." She truly believed that without my notes, I would collapse. But little did she know, while she wasted time gossiping and pretending to be superior, I was sharpening my mind with sheer determination. I burned the midnight oil, silently fueling my fire with her betrayal. I promised myself, I would let karma deal with her, because karma always knows the address. Finally, the results day arrived. Students gathered in the school hall, hearts pounding, hands trembling. I stood silently, my eyes fixed on the notice board. My sister strutted in like she owned the place, her makeup perfect, her confidence radiating. She whispered to her friends that she was expecting top grades, that she would finally prove she was better than me. My hands shook as I traced my name on the sheet, praying I hadn't failed. And then, I saw it. My grades weren't just good. They were excellent. Against all odds, I had topped the class. A rush of relief and triumph surged through me, almost bringing tears to my eyes. But the true shock came seconds later, when the whispers started spreading about my sister's name. She hadn't just failed, she had failed spectacularly. Subjects she thought she had mastered were marked with red. Her arrogance crumbled as her friends avoided her gaze, pity flashing across their faces. She froze, her painted smile fading into a mask of disbelief. She looked at me, eyes wide, as if I had cast some spell. But no, this was no magic. This was karma. She had wasted her time plotting against me instead of preparing for herself. While she destroyed my papers, she had unknowingly destroyed her own chance at success. And in that hall, surrounded by whispers and judgmental stares, she tasted the bitterness of betrayal, not from me, but from the very fate she tried to twist. When we returned home, silence filled the air. My parents were proud of me, but their disappointment in her was impossible to hide. For the first time, the golden girl of the family was shrouded in shame. She avoided eye contact, her usual confidence replaced by hollow silence. That night, she came into my room, eyes red and swollen, and admitted what she had done. "I thought if you failed, I'd shine brighter," she whispered, voice trembling. I listened quietly, not out of sympathy, but because I wanted her to understand the weight of her choices. I told her softly, "You didn't destroy me, you destroyed yourself." From that day on, she never dared to underestimate the power of honesty, hard work, and karma again.